So lift and roll the shoulders. This opens the gateways from up into the head, and often they're closed off by, at this level here, the collarbone. Turn the head to the left as you're breathing in, and turn the head to the right as you're breathing out. Come back to the center, and just stepping your feet a little bit apart, hip width apart. Very familiar, turning from side to side. So this works all the energies of the body, and you'll find this not just in yoga, but you'll find it in Tai Chi, and you'll find it in aspects of Qigong, which is a Chinese breathwork system. You find it in yoga too. So we're doing a very gentle modification of this. In Tibetan yoga, on the medicine side, it's called Yantra yoga, and they speed it up and become more vigorous. So they really slap around the shoulders to get a much more vigorous effect. But how much you do it is up to you. And in another form of yoga, you just spiral round with your arms open to the right. And the reason I don't do that in the class is that you very quickly lose balance and perspective. And so, and the purpose of doing this, apart from moving the energy around the body, and the slapping creates, on the shoulders, creates a vibration in the body, is that it's very difficult to maintain any thought while you're swaying from side to side. You're also balancing your pelvis. And with that swaying from side to side and the head moving with the body, you're not retaining thought, and so therefore you're just dipping into a mindfulness exercise where you're actually in the present. So it ticks many boxes, and it's such a simple thing to do. And then just start to slow down. You can choose to keep your feet still, or you can choose to lift your heels, doesn't matter. And then just come to standstill. Bring your feet to a comfortable distance apart. Lift and roll the shoulders. Press the feet into the ground. And breathing in, circle the arms. Depending on your capacity, you can keep them bent, but if you are able to stretch them up, do. This is an extension. Breathing out, go to one side. I'm going to my left, it doesn't matter, and just bounce in and out. Breathe in, come to the center. And breathe out, go to the other side. Just bounce slightly in and out. Come to the center. And just explore very gently, turning to one side. You're not going to go very far potentially. Bounce slightly in and out. Come to the center. And breathing out, turn to the other side, just bouncing slightly in and out. Come to the center. And then lower the arms back down alongside you. Lift and roll the shoulders. Place the hands on the waist. And turn to look over the left shoulder. If you've gone the other way, don't worry. Come to the center, and then breathing out, turn to look over the right shoulder. Come to the center. And then just very gently bend your knees. Bottom goes slightly away from you. You only bend as little, as much as you would like. Perhaps lengthen the back of the neck by looking at the floor. Notice that you're engaging your abdominal muscles as you're doing this, and then instantly come back up again and lower your hands back down alongside you. Lift and roll the shoulders, and just these points here, hopefully you can see under the collarbone, and almost going to, Charlotte, help me, where's this point here, this bit in here, just where's that bit, just underneath under the shoulder bone? There.
It's called the supraclavicular fossa.
Right.
I think you're glad you asked now.
Yes, I'm very impressed. There, just tap slightly. In acupressure, they're called the K27 points, and they connect into the kidney energy, which is one's vitality.
Yes.
And you see very young glamorous girls with nails out here and big lips, and they go, oh, I'm so stressed. And they go like that there, and it's that kind of, life vitality force. However, this is a very interesting point. One of my mother's favourite words is confluence of the rivers, but it's a confluence, if you will, of many meridians. It's not just the K27. It opens the lung points as well, and if you just drop your hands and lift and roll your shoulders, you'll feel that opening here. You will have also lifted your chest, which is very uplifting for the mood. And when people, you ask them to stand up straight, they ram their shoulders back and it jams them. If you ask someone to place their hand at the chest and just subtly lift the chest a millimetre, they naturally lift up, open up. And in Ayurveda, which is the medicine side of yoga, opening and lifting the chest like this is uplifting for the mood. So in Ayurveda, you always treat the first thing presenting. People often have myriads of things, but for depression, it's lifting and rolling the shoulders. And for serious depression, you would invite someone to lie very supported with blankets or a bolster underneath the back, probably running lengthwise with support under the head. And it just opens the chest naturally. And it's very, very soothing for the nervous system. So just lift and roll the shoulders and clasp the hands behind you. This will again open your shoulders. Turn to the left, slightly lifting your hands away. If they don't lift, then don't worry. Come to the centre and then turn to the right and come to the centre. Just release the hands and circle the wrists one way and then the other way. Now this is a very interesting thing. I think I said we lose part of our movement and we don't realise it. So depending on your capacity, either hold your wrists, hold your elbows with the elbows slightly away, or if you want to challenge yourself, do reverse prayer, and it's often the little fingers cannot touch and keep the thumbs together.
No.
So come out of that, but that is an indication of where you're losing part of the movement. So come back to this or that, and wherever you choose or whatever you've chosen, turn to the left, come to the centre, turn to the right, come to the centre, and a nod forward by bending your knees, and just, you can come right forward or you can come a little bit forward. Press the feet down and come up. Release the hands and just again circle and just shake your hands out. That connects into another part of the body, and it's a part that we can often lose mobility. And if we fall over, trip, which is so easy to do, you need to keep your things flexible to minimum. I know if you're going to fall over, you're going to fall over. But anyway, just quite an interesting thing. So circling the hands up, creating our own sun rays, stretching out, stretch the fingers, and circling down. And then opening and close the fingers. If you've been working on close, I know Patsy does, opening, you can flick your fingers out. If anyone's got arthritis, that's very good. And if you've got arthritis, also good is taking one hand. I'm taking my right hand to my left thumb, it doesn't matter which way, and just slightly pull your thumb, your second finger, third finger, fourth and little finger, and shake that hand out. And then take the hand to, I'm going to take it to my right finger, thumb, pull. You're just creating a minuscule space between the joints, which is where toxins can sort of build up. I don't know what the technical term is, Charlotte, but anyway, you'll know what I mean. And then just open and close your fingers. I'm very basic, but I know what I'm getting there, but I haven't got the technical biological knowledge that one might need at your level. So then just lift and roll the shoulders and step, hip width apart. And again, this moves all your bones, all your joints. So if you think about it, starting from the bottom, it moves the ankles, it moves the knees. You bend as little or as much as you like. As you're lifting up like flying with wings, you're stretching intercostal muscles, you're stretching your shoulders, your elbows, the wrists, the air going through the fingers. You'll see this in parks where people practice Tai Chi, particularly in the far eastern parts of the world, and then just lift and roll the shoulders again. So this is a coordination exercise. Raise your right arm. Again, maybe bring the elbow in, just slinking it up, and circle the right wrist. You'll naturally go one way, according to your brain patterns, and then circle the left wrist. Again, don't think about it, they'll go in opposite ways, but they are moving in opposite ways. So now, change direction. If you think about it, you go mad, but you're just coordinating and moving. If your hand is hurting, you can always soften your elbow, not to keep your hand up, and then just release both hands and lift and roll the shoulders. And then snake the left arm up. So it might be that you come in or you go circle, go up, and then circle one way, and circle the other way. So I can tell, Charlotte, I don't often, but I can see you're tense. So you perhaps, I can't, trying to work it out, maybe just release the arm a little bit. Just interesting, just like, do feel that you could say anything to me, because I do things that I'm unaware of, and I suddenly see myself on video and think, oh no, have I done that? Or my foot's out at the wrong angle. Video does very strange things. And again, as you breathe in, turn the head slightly to the left. This is a neck exercise. Breathing out, turn the head to the right, a mindfulness exercise, and looks at the thyroid and parathyroid into the left, and coming to the right, into the left, and coming to the right. Come to the centre, hands together at the heart, and it doesn't matter how we get there, but we're going to come down to the ground, the mat, lying on our backs, and start with knees bent, feet hip width apart. Patsy, look at that.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Oh my God, how do I get down there?
I know, your
I've
knees
got
go,
down
my
there,
knees go. Coming,
I've got them apart.
blocking my bottom on the ground.
I can't do it.
I'm not asking you to do
No,
that, isn't
sorry.
that wonderful?
This is what I have.
Isn't
Oh,
that
well
absolutely
done.
wonderful?
Oh my gosh.
I know, isn't that just amazing?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right, so for us lesser mortals, just coming to lie, knees bent, feet hip width apart. If you need support under your head, you like to have your head up slightly, please take that support.
Oh gosh,
You've got a bolster there if you need it. And just settle, let yourself settle, and then just let your head roll to the left. And then gently come to the centre and let your head roll to the right. So whether the head is on the ground or the mat, or whether it's on a bolster, you're giving up the tension of supporting the head upright, and you're just letting a sensation of awareness. It's a feeling exercise, just moving from left to right. The neck and the head are letting go of any weight that it's being asked to carry. And the head's quite heavy, it can weigh, 7 or 10 pounds. A lot of stuff to sort of sit on top of the spine, a lot of weight. And then come to the centre. And then very gently, when I say pelvic tilt, keep your feet and knees where they are. Just slightly flatten the base of the spine as if you're going to lift the bottom, and then release so that the tailbone moves to the ground and there's a little gap under your lower back. And then again, just flatten your back as if you're going to lift your bottom off the ground, and then just release, and there's that little gap under your back. So it's a pelvic tilt. You're beginning to just massage up and down the really lower back, top of the sacrum area. And you can start to involve your head. So I'm trying to think, as there's a gap under my back, my chin's going down naturally. And as I'm flattening my back, my head lifts, my chin lifts slightly. So this becomes a very safe way of lifting the head up and down. There is no danger of you overstretching. As we get older, the head becomes quite heavy, and if you move your neck up and down too violently, the head and osteoporosis can kind of flag up warnings in certain people who are probably not us, or hopefully not us, but there is a red flag warning on moving the head like that. Heel very, very safe. And then just very, very gently come to neutral. Keep your right knee and foot where it is, but please feel free to adjust it if you need to. And then hug your left knee into your chest. Just take a moment, both hands are hugging the left knee into the chest. And then just very gently start to circle the left knee in one direction. And your circle will probably start very small, and you're giving the top of your leg, your thigh, a complete, in the hip sock, a complete rotational. It's very safe, it's a wonderful hip movement for flexibility, for where we perhaps do lots of walking or other sports. The hip is being moved, but it's being moved in, it's not being given a rotational movement. And then just very gently circle the knee in the other direction. And if you want to increase your circle, please feel free to do so. Increasing the circle. And as you increase the circle, you might find that you're limited by both hands holding your knees. So you can let your right hand drop to your right hip or onto the floor, and let your left knee drop out slightly to the left to give you a bigger circle. Again, it's all up to you how much you want to move. And then hugging the left knee into the chest. Drop both hands behind your left thigh, maybe clasping them, and begin to extend the left foot up to the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your left knee if that's more comfortable. And then just extend the left heel. You'll feel a stretch along the back of the left leg. Point the left toes gently upwards, not that you're giving yourself cramp. And again, extend that left heel and point the left toes. And then very gently circle the left ankle in one direction, slowly. Imagine going around a clock smoothly, and just notice where you jump and where there's any irregularity of movement. It's just an observation. And then circle your left ankle in the other direction. And I know that I jump as I go to perhaps 22. I just kind of miss a little bit. It's like a cog of a wheel that's just missing. And then just slide your hands up the back of your left leg. Your left knee can still be bent, but you can straighten it too. And just feel the stretch along the back of the leg. And then hug the left knee into the left. Just enjoy that hug. Just slightly rock the left knee, rock on your hips side to side. It's just moving almost from one side of the bottom to the other. Bring the knee to the center, and then supporting the left knee, let the left foot travel back down to the ground, to the earth. And then transfer your hands and your attention to your right knee. Hug the right knee into the chest. Just enjoy this hugging in movement. It's very releasing for the lower back, it's very releasing for pain, it's very releasing for lower back issues. And then just again start to circle your right knee in a little circle in one direction. And again, If you find that you want to increase your circle and you're limited by both hands on your right knee, you can always release the left hand away on the left thigh bone or left hip on the floor and let your right knee drop out to the right as you circle in one direction. It really does open up the hip. It is one of the most beneficial exercises, safe for everybody, for hip health. And then just gently circle your knee in the other direction. So we're doing this in a normal class. If you are particularly concerned about your hips, for instance, you would do this either 5 or 10 times in each direction if you were having a therapy hat on. And then very gently come to hug your right knee into the centre. Enjoy that hug again, and dropping your hands to behind your right thigh. I like to clasp my hands, but however works for you. And gradually and gently extend your right leg up to the ceiling. Extend your right heel and feel that stretch all the way along the back of your right leg. And then point your toes gently, but without giving yourself cramp. Extend the heel and point the toes. And then coming back to neutral, begin to circle the right ankle very gently in one direction. Again, noting where your circle jumps, the bits that you don't quite get, and then circle your ankle in the other direction. And then very gently start to walk the hands up the back of the right leg. The right leg will come very fractionally towards your face. No pressure, no strain at all. And then supporting your leg as you drop your hands down and hug the knee into the chest once more. Keep the right knee hugged into the chest. Bring up the left knee so that both knees are hugging into the chest. If you need to have your knees wider apart, that's fine. Now just very gently rock both knees to one side, come back to the centre. As you rock to the other side, your other hip will slightly lift. You might even go onto your elbow. Again, it's a grade, or you choose how much you want to go from one side to the other. While we're just lying here on the floor and moving like this, we're also beginning to calm down the nervous system. So I know it thinks, trying to think outside the box, and I'm not very good at shapes, but any kind of forward bend is calming for the nervous system. And although we're lying on our backs, if you look at the body, the kind of C shape, the curling in that we're doing, it does mimic a forward bend, so it's an upside down forward bend. So it does also work on the nervous system as you're going from side to side. It's really fascinating. As I said, I've never been good at shapes, I would fail any test, but it took me a while to kind of understand that you are upside down, but you're still calming for the nervous system. And then just bring your hands under both thighs to place both feet one at a time back down onto the earth. Your feet are hip width apart, knees are up towards the ceiling. And just open, if you've got space, your hands out to, again, this depends on the capacity under your arms. You can open your arms up to a T at shoulder height. If that's too tight or uncomfortable, just bring your arms down to an A shape, palms down. And if you really like to, or prefer, you can have your hands either on your waist or on your abdomen, on your tummy. Just be comfortable. Even having your hands on your tummy opens the arms up. You're opening up under the upper arms, which is the lymph system, and you're also opening space for the lungs. Your feet are hip width apart, so just for here, maybe the invitation is to open your feet slightly wider, up to you, but then let both knees drop to one side, and your hip lifts off the ground. And you drop your knees as little or as much as you would like. Come back to knees upright, and then letting both knees just drift over to the other side. So my knees are now over to the left and my right hip's lifting. come back to the centre, and just start very gently to sway the knees from side to side, lifting your hips. And you can choose to sway your knees a few inches, or you can choose to really sway your knees almost down to the ground. And once you've got your own rhythm established, you would breathe in to bring your knees upright, and you would breathe out to let your knees drop down to the side. So we're working with the breath, and we're directly having an impact on the nervous system by doing this. So once you've got your knees established, you can optionally go to the head. So as the knees drop one way, the head can turn in the opposite direction away from the knees. Head and knees come to the centre, and then knees drop one way, and the head can gently turn a little bit or a lot to the away from the knees. So we're coming back to something called a somatic movement, which is where you feel the movement more. And when you feel the movement, the sensation of the movement, you take your mind, your brain out of the equation. You always go into an automatic mood. You're massaging across the top of your sacrum. You're massaging over a couple of acupressure points, the top of the bottom. You're massaging across the back of the head. You can turn your head, as I said, a little bit or a lot. Just enjoy the sensation of really releasing the body. My understanding is that as you go to the side and your knee drops in, one knee drops in, you're having an impact on the psoas diaphragm matrix, as it was termed. So releasing the diaphragm is always good. The diaphragm, you can hold tightness in patterns, particularly, strangely, people who are very fit. So I'm thinking of like tennis players who play a lot of tennis. They can often be super fit, but they can hold tension around that sort of upper rib, under the rib sort of diaphragm area. And then just bring your knees to the centre, and wherever your hands are, feel free to adjust your feet to be comfortable. Just turn the palms of the hands up, totally up, almost up, and the thumbs down to the floor again, and then turn the palms down and almost press into the thumbs, so you'll feel that you're working into the arms, are working into the shoulders. So again, this becomes a very safe way to move your tops of your arms, your upper arm bones, in the shoulder sockets. But your arms are being supported, part of your arms being supported by the ground. Your hands are just using the ground to support you. So you can get more movement, but very safely. Sometimes when you do this standing up with your arms out, it can be quite an effort. And then just very gently come to leave your hands down. And now just extend your feet along the mat. So you're lying in a partial Shavasana. Just extend one foot, extend one heel, and then extend the other heel. Extend one heel, so you're almost going from side to side, but you'll feel it's fine, you're opening your hips up as you're just extending one heel and then the other heel. And then just relax that movement. Both feet go to the right, so both feet come centre and both feet go over to the left. So right, left, your heels stay on the ground. It's an invert-evert movement, which involves the ankles as well, just a slightly different movement. And then release the feet, release the heels. Just bring your head, turning it to the left. Come to the centre and bring your head, turning it to the right. Come to the centre, to the left. Come to the centre and to the right, and then come back to the centre. Extend your right heel and keep it extended. Bend your right elbow and snake the right arm up. You can keep a bend in the elbow up behind you. You can rest the back of the hand on the ground. It depends on your capacity. If you're comfortable to stretch your arm out along you, then please do so. If you're tight under the arm, then just bend the elbow. Wherever you end up, turn the head to the left away from the right extended arm and stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, bring the head back to centre, and breathing out, lower the right arm and just totally relax the right leg, letting the right foot drop out to the right. And now extend the left heel. Left toes come up to the ceiling, bend the left elbow and snake the left arm up, stretching it up. Bending the elbow if you need to have a softness under your arm. And then breathing out, turn your head to the right. Keep your head there as you take an in and an out breath. And then breathing in, bring your head back to centre. And breathing out, lower your left arm and just totally relax your left side. Once more, turn your head to the left. Come to the centre and turn your head to the right. Come to the centre. Extend both heels. Bend both elbows and join your thumbs so that the thumbs are hooked. And then raise both arms up above you. You can keep your elbows bent. Again, that's up to you. I'm going to stretch out totally. My chin comes down to the chest, a really big stretch. And then breathing out. Then start to lower the arms and just totally relax the legs out to the side. Bend one knee, foot on the floor, bend the other knee, both feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling. And just very gently sway both knees from side to side. Your hands can rest on the floor, palms down, or on your abdomen. And then hug one knee into the chest, and then hug the other knee into the chest. Both knees are hugged into the chest. And this time, still holding both knees, hugging yourself, knees into the chest. As you breathe in, let both knees, while you're still holding them, travel to arm's length apart. Just travel away from you to arm's length. And then breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. Breathing in, let both knees travel to arm's length. And breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. Now then, as you're doing this, you can either use your arms and your hands to hug your knees in and out. If you wanted to be very yogic about it, you would put the lightest touch on your knees and let your tummy or abdominal muscles do the work. So yoga-wise, you're always focusing on the core, and you would let your tummy muscles do the work with the merest touch on your knees. But we're in a much more relaxed state, so you've got the choice of perhaps letting your hands hug you in. It's your choice, whichever you prefer or you think that you'd like to do. It's massaging up and down the lower part of the spine, particularly around the L4 and the L5 lower vertebra, which is where you take all the work, all the torque when you're moving and twisting. And then very, very gently let both knees come down, let both feet come to the ground, knees up to the ceiling. Hug the right knee into the chest, open the right knee to the right, and place the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Hands either rest on the abdomen or palms down. And just let both knees sway from side to side. So this figure of 4 that we're doing is opening the right hip and focusing on the lower lymphatic system. It's also looking at a tiny muscle called the piriformis muscle, which joins the thigh to the hip. I'm being very inarticulate here, Charlotte, so sorry, but the piriformis muscle is often implicated in lower back issues. So it's a very easy and safe way to open your right hip out. without putting any pressure on it. The right way round pose of this is pigeon, which is also very satisfying, but you've got the full weight of your body as on your hip. And then come to the centre, hug your right knee into the chest, put your right foot on the floor, and then hugging your left knee into the chest, opening your left knee to the left ankle goes on the right thigh, hands, palms on your tummy or abdomen or on the floor, palms down, and just very gently sway your knees from side to side. Again, your figure of four, your upside down pigeon pose on the left side. Opening the groin area. So it depends how much you want to open your knee. You can have it a little bit open, or you can really open your knee, just where you're comfortable. Swaying from side to side is very soothing. Your weight of your body is massaging your lower back. But then hugging the knee into the chest, hug both knees into the chest, and if space is available to you, we're going to roll to the right to come up to a seated position. If space isn't available to you, come up to a seated position. You might like to rock up, however works for you. Whatever you do, take your time, because you've been on the ground for a while. Time for the blood to kind of reorientate into the body. For those of you who like to sit cross-legged, please do. If you're not great sitting cross-legged, then sit with your feet out. Certainly you'll meet Sue, and she likes to often sit out with her legs. So come into whatever works, great, everyone's cross-legged. And just placing the hands on the knees. So we would possibly be on hands and knees, but I know that's an issue, so we're going to do it this way, sitting up and breathing out, rounding the chin to the chest, stretching the back of the neck, letting the blood travel to the top of into the head, breathing in, sitting up, lengthening the body, breathing out, chin to chest, breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, sitting up. And breathing out, rounding chin to chest. You're warming the vertebra of the spine. Breathing in and breathing out. And then come to just the neutral, sitting up. Your hands are supporting you, and just very gently make a little circle around in one direction. So again, you can make a tiny circle, you can really make big circles, but just while we're sitting, circling small is good, and then circling around in the other direction. Sitting up, raising or snaking the left hand up, tummy in, turn the body to the right knee and bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind, either hands down or where you feel comfortable. Breathe in as you lengthen the body and slightly turn to look over your right shoulder. The head is the last thing to turn, and it doesn't matter if you turn a little bit or a lot. Breathing in and breathing out. Each time you breathe in, lengthen the body. Each time you breathe out, you might find you turn a little bit more. And then come back to the center. Hands on both knees. Lengthen the body as you breathe in, snaking the right arm up, tummy in. As you turn towards your left knee, left hand behind you, breathing in, lengthening the body, and breathing out, turning. No pressure or strain on the neck. Breathing in, lengthening, and breathing out, turning. And just stay here for an in and an out breath. Coming back to the centre. Just touch your fingers forward and just come to lengthen your back from the spine, base tailbone to the top of the head, and then just walk your fingers forward. You'll feel this in the outer hips, so don't feel you've got to come too far forward. Any type of rotation, it's nice to come forward slightly to compensate, to rebalance the spine. But I'm not going to keep you here for long, so you very, very gently come back up again. We're moving through the body as we come to the heart. Hands at the heart, breathing in, open the hands out. Breathing out, hands back to the heart, chin to the chest. Breathing in, feel the air between the fingers. So the element of air in one yogic system, breathing out, chin to chest, is connected to the heart center. And the element of air, the hands connect to the heart, sense of touch, air and sense of touch, breathing out, hands to heart. Breathing in, open the fingers out, breathing out, hands to the heart. And one last time, breathing in and breathing out, hands to heart. Bring your hands either to rest in the lap, or if you need like the support, just bring to hands back to the knees again. As you breathing in, turn the head to the left. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. Into the left. Out to the right. Into the left. And out to the right. We're working on the thyroid and the parathyroid. Into the left. You're working out to the right, balancing the brain hemispheres too. Left and right, right and left. Into the left. And out to the right. Come back to the centre. I mentioned the head being heavy. So if you lift your chin, do this with control and only a little bit. Breathing in, just lift the chin a few inches. Let your eyes drift up to the ceiling. And breathing out, let your chin drift down, chin to chest. Breathing in, just lift your chin. Maybe just a few inches, a few millimeters, looking up. Breathing out. You can keep your eyes opened or closed, chin to chest. This works on the pituitary and the pineal glands, part of our metabolic control. Breathing in, chin up, and breathing out, chin down. One last time, chin up, and chin down. Come to the center. Taking your hand, just very gently either stroke across the third eye, going on one side and off the other side. Or if you want to massage around the third eye, then you're very welcome to just gently, with a touch of the fingers. This connects into the forehead, of course. Also it connects into something called the Ajna chakra, the center of intuition, knowledge and wisdom. Very soothing to kind of connect in there. If you're doing this to somebody else, it can be very intrusive to go into their inner energy. So it's not something you would suddenly come up to somebody and just connect straight into a massage on that part, but just connecting to the Ajna center. And then very, very gently release the hand. And then connecting to the Sahasrara, just very gently, chin to chest, just gently hold your top of your head. Where the palms of the hands go is at the ear center. I'm thinking of hearing, tinnitus, you can just massage around there if you want to. The crown of the head is where we connect to the outside world. Just keep an eye on the time. And then just releasing the hands. And then just very gently being comfortable. And I'm going to invite you for this breath work and relaxation to lie down, knees up. Very often you sit up for breath work, but you've got to be completely comfortable. So we're going to do it lying down, knees up, feet hip width apart. And I'm going to start by inviting you to bring your attention to the base of the spine, the Muladhara chakra. And as you breathe in mentally, say to yourself, so on the in-breath, and hum as you breathe out. Focusing at the base of the spine, so as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. So as you breathe in, mentally to yourself, hum as you breathe out. And let your attention just move slightly up on the inside of the spine, somewhere between the navel and the base chakra, between the navel and the perineum. Just settle somewhere in the lower abdominal area. This is the neck chakra, sacral area. And again, breathing in so as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. And mentally repeat so and hum to yourself as you breathe in and out. And focus on that second chakra. The colour in some systems of yoga is orange. Other systems have a completely different colour scheme. But it connects to our centre of joy when we're in balance, and it connects to the element of water and our kidneys and our adrenal glands. It connects also to when we're out of balance here, to addiction, both in work or drugs or food or anything. And then let your attention drift up behind the navel, at the back, inside the spine at the navel level. And again, it's a so hum breath as you focus at the navel level. Now this is our digestive system. So on this system of yoga, as I said, there are different systems, but it's a colour yellow. It connects to our digestive enzymes, the powerhouse of where we transform what we take in on our food, but also our life experience, and how we transform that to work within our body. So and hum. And then let your mind drift up to the heart centre. And again, in this system, the colour could be green or it could be pink. Behind, inside the spine, the heart is where we share with all the animal kingdom. It's where our physicality kind of merges with part of our feeling, our intuition. The heart is very much, we say, our heart connected. So again, here the element is air, and it connects to our hands and the sense of touch, where we have our compassion, but also there's an aspect of anger and frustration connecting to the heart. It also connects to the liver, of course, but let's focus on pink and green and happiness and compassion and well-being. So and hum. And then let your mind drift up to the throat area, centre of communication, where we speak our truth or we don't. If we don't, it causes a lot of problems because our mind is out of sync with our body. Colour kind of blue, the throat chakra, connecting into the thyroid and parathyroid glands here. So as you breathe in and hum as you breathe out. So and hum. So and hum. And And let your mind drift to the third eye, where we massage gently the Ajna centre, sort of an indigo-y colour, swirling round our centre of knowledge, our centre of intuition. The pineal and the pituitary glands, they're part of our metabolic control. Very complex, I don't fully understand it. But again, just so and hum. And then just letting the mind drift to the top of the head, where the fontanelles are. And you can think of colour white or gold or silver, or a combination of everything. It's called the Saraswara, top of the crown of the head, where we connect with the outside world. So, as we breathe in and out. And then just let your attention settle at the base of the nostrils. And of all the colours, or any other colours, just choose a colour that you resonate with today. And breathe in coloured air through your nostrils to a point in the centre of your head, where you imagine the centre of your head to be. And as you breathe out your coloured air, and put into that coloured air anything that you don't want today. And imagine the air cleansing you and carrying away anything that's not serving you today. And the air just goes all the way through the body and leaves through the soles of the feet, going back to the earth. And breathing in through the base of the nostrils to a point in the centre of the head. Letting everything just drift through. Imagine putting like into a basket anything not serving you today. Let it drift through your body and leave once more through the soles of the feet. And then one final time as you breathe in your coloured air, like a fine transparent veil of wall of air just going through the body, but wrapping you inside and out, conferring protection on you for the day ahead. Only positive things can come in, blocking out anything you don't want, anything that's not serving you today. And let that breath go once more. And then just come to be aware of where you're lying on the mat. Come to be aware of the sensation of the clothes against your skin. Come to be aware of any sounds inside and out. And coming to just very gently rub the palms of the hands together to create a slight friction and a warmth, stimulating electrical points, the nadis in the palms of the hands. And when the hands feel warm, just place both palms over your closed eyes and gently open the eyes to the darkness of the palms and just let your hands drift away, reorientating yourself to the day, and then hugging one knee and then the other knee into the chest, and just once more rocking very gently from side to side. And this time really taking your time. You might like to bring your feet to the floor and roll to the right, or you might just like to roll to the right. You can extend your right arm so that you're rolling onto your right side. No hurry to get up. You need the blood to be able to reorientate, to rebalance your system. Unbelievably, it's quite a hot day today. So you don't want any dehydration, just press your hand down onto the floor, your left hand, slide up. And then come back very briefly to a cross-legged position. And coming to interlace the hands, the fingers, thumbs up at the heart, chin to chest. Breathe in and bring your hands up towards the third eye, just connect to the forehead. And breathe out again, bringing the hands back down to the heart, chin to chest. Thank you everyone very much for joining me today. Have a very lovely day ahead.